Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. I've been gone for a couple of weeks. You can tell that I'm like extremely glowing right now from sweat because it's so hot in Madrid. But I was on vacation. My mom was visiting, so took some time off, but I'm back. And I was like, the best way to get back is with my birthday twin Younes because our birthday is freaking coming up. We talk about it all year, and we wanted to do kind of like a birthday special for you guys that also involved Chelsea's season predictions as well. So, Younes, thanks so much for joining me. How's it going?
Hey, no problem, no problem. Just like last year,
Yeah.
we done it last year. We're here again now. Mad. So for those that don't know, we share the same birthday, and it's ironic now the seasons are starting. Let's get into predictions and seeing how it's all gonna go down. Hopefully, our birthdays can bring the team some luck.
I know, that's what I'm like, please, please, please. Like, they
Yeah.
cannot lose this close. It has to be a birthday present for us. There's been a lot of Chelsea news going on, so maybe we could chat about that for just like 5 minutes or so before we get into predictions. Twitter over the past 24, 48 hours has been absolutely mad. Insane.
It's been insane.
But what do you make about the Cucurella deal that's been reported? And then it was said that, and then Brighton put out that crazy post that were like, we have not sold him. And then Fabrizio was like, yes, you have, but we need to involve Colwill in some way. What do you think about all of that?
Firstly, I loved how you said his name. Say it again.
Thanks. Cucurella.
We don't hear that. We just don't hear that. Here it's like, yeah, Cucurella. Oh my god, no, that's brilliant.
Thank you.
But I think he'd be a tremendous signing, like a top. I've mentioned him at least on my channel and on some others months ago. Like seeing him play for Brighton, seeing what he does, what he done against us, and throughout the season, he was just constantly impressive. And then we knew we have like on that left hand side, we had a problem when Chilwell was injured, and just having to rely on Marcos Alonso, which we know we can't do all the time because it's Marcos Alonso. I'm just like, I would love Cucurella on this team. I would love to have him in this Chelsea team. And now the dreams come true. It's happening. Yeah. So I'm buzzing personally. I think it's an amazing deal. And it gives us flexibility because I do think that depending on what happens with Fofana, but regardless, I still think that we might even have an option to play him and Chilwell at the same time, where Cucurella comes in at left centre back and Chilwell plays at left wing back. And if we ever need to rest Chilwell or whatever, we're covered. We got Cucurella. So happy days. Very happy to see him come in.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that a lot of people are missing. They're saying, oh, we have Chilwell. Well, Chilwell's still coming back from injury. He's not going to be 100% right off of the bat. And so we need somebody who's going to fill in. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if we saw Marcos Alonso leave this season.
Yeah.
I know there's still time left in the transfer window. I wouldn't
Barca
be surprised
after him. So
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go to Barca.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I was reminded of today on Twitter that I saw when I was scrolling through is that there's going to be 5 subs in the Premier League this season as well, which gives us a massive advantage if we have a bigger squad. So you can allow Chilwell to play 60 minutes or so, or you can allow Cucurella to play 60 minutes. Like there's going to be so much possibility for game time because there are going to be so many games that players do need to have that additional rest and make those changes. So I'm personally like super, super excited about this deal. And Chelsea feel like they've been making some very intelligent signings this summer. What do you think?
Yeah, big time. I'm very happy with the way that we've gone now. Yes, maybe a little bit late, but we understood why when the circumstances come out, especially with the change of board. There's no director there. Trying to get a director in quick isn't the best thing to do because that's such an important position. Lukaku, like we had to sort all that out.
I forgot about him because he's just been out on loan. That was a big one. Yeah.
Keep him out of your head. We don't need to remember. But no, like since that point, we then started business. We got Sterling through the door. Then we got Koulibaly through the door. And even the players that we failed to get, we took action quickly. We moved to the next guy. We didn't waste time. Whereas, the trend under the previous ownership, and as much as we love Roman's a legend. But under Marina and the way we were doing things in the boardroom, you just knew it was going to drag. When we go for a player, it takes ages to get that player across the line, even though we do, but it takes forever. So I'm glad that we're moving quickly. And the signings that we're going for are clearly Thomas Tuchel backed, clearly in the positions that we require. It's not just one or two players we need. We need multiple positions. We need to completely revitalize the squad. It looks like now, especially now, we're doing it. We're linked with how many players now? And we're actually linked. It's not just a rumor. Like, it's insane. So I'm all for it. We need to, try and build a Chelsea team in Tuchel's image properly.
Yeah, and I think, we've lost so many players as well just on a free transfer. And I think that was kind of like not great business by Chelsea to let, Christensen and Rudiger just like run their contracts out. And hopefully this new ownership as well has like learned from that and aren't going to be making those mistakes. Obviously, there was a lot that happened with everything frozen and we just couldn't. But I think that these targets look like very smart targets. We're not just buying for the sake of buying, because that's how I felt like, oh, Timo Werner had an incredible season. Let's go for him. But how does he fit into Chelsea? It seems like these players are actually going to fit right into the team, which is something that I'm super excited about. And another piece of news, you told me about it right before I was aware, but Aspie, he's renewed for 2 years until 2024.
Your boy has stayed.
He's staying. Se queda, as they say in Spanish. And there was the big Diego Costa, Thibaut Courtois joke. Se queda. What do you think about this? A lot of people are indifferent. I personally don't see him playing like a massive role on the pitch. I think it's probably going to be a step back in more of a leadership position, but who better a leader, in my opinion, during all of this chaos when you have new management and a ton of new players? Like, you want somebody senior, I think. And he can fill in here and there, but how do you see it? I know I'm biased. So.
Well, maybe he stayed at Chelsea because he was like, oh yeah, no, Elizabeth, I have to stay. I can't leave. I can't. Yeah, I'm going to break her heart.
Can't disappoint her, not yet. Let's give it another year or two.
But no, I agree. I think that he's going to be used in that sort of capacity. I would hope. I wouldn't want him to be playing every single game or playing the amount of minutes that we did get to see him last season because of what happened to Reece James. I don't think for the benefit of the squad on the pitch, in game, that's good for us. But his presence, and even in games where we just have to fill in or we have to provide rest, additional rest, bring Aspie on, he'll do the job. But the way that I see him being used is on a mental standpoint, more as a presence in the dressing room, in the same way that we had senior figures in past. When Didier came back for the second time, we didn't get him back to bang in 20 goals a season. Jose brought him back just because of the dressing room, to show everyone that figurehead in the dressing room, to try and get everyone feeling proper Chelsea. And I feel like Aspie is the closest that we have to that, the club captain. He is the club captain. I think he'll remain the club captain, even though he won't be playing as much. But it's a good presence to have, considering how long he's been at Chelsea, considering what he's won. He's won everything. And yeah, having, for the new players that are coming in, having someone who's lived and breathed Chelsea, who we can look at as a legend now. He goes in the same class as all the guys, before him. And I think it's right to keep him if we're able to, as long as he's not taking someone's place in the team that we know we could do better with. So, I think it's good. Thomas Tuchel wanted him to stay. He stays. Happy days.
Yeah, I think last season he wasn't meant to play as much as he did. Like, with the Reece James injury, we were just so thin on that right-hand side. But I do think now, like, Reece James is fit. We'll have Trevor Chalobah. I don't know, maybe Cucurella can even play, like, on the right. I'm not sure. I've seen a couple of people saying that as well. And let's see.
We could be getting someone else in as well. Someone in to be like a backup to Reece James. There's talk about Walker Peters and there's talk about Dumfries. So even then we might still be getting cover for that position. So even then we'll be fine. Like, Aspie will come in if absolutely necessary, or for experience. If we're looking to close a game with 20 minutes to go and we need experience, all right, bring Aspie on. He'll handle 20 minutes. Surely he'll be okay for that. So yeah.
And maybe we might even see him get back to like a better level, because like he was probably really burnt out last season. So I understand that like he's not at his peak. We're not going to see him at his peak, but hopefully like with extra rest, we're going to be seeing maybe a I don't want to say like closer to the player that he was, but you know what I mean. Kind of like somebody more well rested, like able to give more 100%.
For the small amount of games that he'll play, he'll be able to perform at a high intensity, basically.
Exactly.
Rather than burn out and just operate at a very low intensity throughout. Oh, yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So it's going to be super interesting because the Premier League starts this week, but we still have a lot of players that could potentially be sold, that we could potentially bring in. I know Timo Werner's one that potentially will be sold as well. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, he needs to go. As much as, we all can go, yeah, no, Timo, he's great. He works hard. Like, I appreciate that. I would expect everyone to work hard, but I appreciate that. After 3 seasons now, so this will be a third. Yeah, it's not working. And not just on the pitch, but now it seems like even off the pitch, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. So just I guarantee he'll go back to Germany because he'll more than likely go back to Leipzig. He goes back to Leipzig, he'll start scoring. I guarantee he'll bang in goals there, 100%. But that's just the reality of the way it is, the German league compared with here too. It's a different ball game. And I would honestly wish him the best if he went back out there. I hope he smashes it. But yeah, for us, like, we need someone who's going to come in and kill it for us. And that's not Timo Werner.
Yeah, it's interesting to see if we'll see like any other attacker come in. I know like the midfield is like very, very tight right now, but we don't really have many like wingers or attacking options. I don't know. So it's going to be interesting to see. I know we just signed the new youngster from Carney.
Yeah, Carney Chukwuemeka. Yeah,
I will not be able to pronounce that one. I
know. It'll take time. We'll just call him Carney. Call him Double C or something. Or Chuka. Just call him. You can call him Chuka, I guess. But as a central midfielder, he'll be vital. And I think at 18, he's clearly special if he's not being loaned out. So we'll see how he does. I'm looking forward to it because he's clearly rated very highly. We're linked with Aubameyang. There's talk about Memphis Depay. We'll see what happens there. We'll see.
A lot of Chelsea Barcelona business. A lot of it this season.
Loads. And when you can't beat them, join them.
Players with us, like they're going for our entire back line. Like,
and we want our return favor. We want our piece of the pie returned back to us. So we're giving you players. You've taken our targets. Give us some of your players, please.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Yeah. So it's video, but this. Did my Wi-Fi crap out?
It did. I think you're back. I think you're back.
Sorry.
I was about to
say.
I was like, is that me? No, it's not. It's fine. Oh, I think it's fine. Or is it fine?
Hey,
yeah, sorry. I think you're back.
I shut the door because my husband's on the phone and I think it's like crapping out my Wi-Fi connection. So I'm trying to keep it open, but you might hear like Spanish in the background.
That's fine.
I'll try to move whenever. So we're going to make this prediction video, but obviously it's still early. We don't know Chelsea's final team. We could still make players. We could still sell players. I know that there are a lot of players that we're looking to sell, and it's kind of difficult because they're on difficult wages. So maybe we see like Kepa go on loan, Timo Werner go on loan. Emerson, I think, was being talked about. Marcus Alonso was being talked about. But we'll get into the real meat and potatoes, as Alex Goldberg says, of this episode. Thank you so much for this comment. Super kind. So, Younes, starting off with our predictions. Who do you think is going to be Chelsea's top goal scorer in the Premier League? And do you think that person is going to be the same top goal scorer in the Champions League?
That's a good question. I've not thought about that. Top goal scorer. Well, I saw a funny stat the other day. I saw that Raheem Sterling wins the most amount of penalties out of anyone in Premier League history. So Jorginho is going to have a field day. Jorginho is going to have like 25 goals on the list. Who do I think is going to be top goal scorer? I have to be real and say right now, I don't see anyone beyond Raheem Sterling that will be lethal enough in that front line to score goals. So for now, I'm going to go Raheem Sterling. But depending on who we get, say, for example, we got an Aubameyang, I'd say Aubameyang. Or if we got a Depay, I'd probably say Depay. But I'm going to go with Sterling for now. And Jorginho not far behind.
So maybe a good one for those of you that play fantasy. Like maybe Georgie will just be scoring pens at every game. So who do you think will be Chelsea's top assister then?
Mason Mount had it last season, didn't he?
Yeah, so, I think last season Mason Mount had 11 goals and 10 assists in the Premier League. One of 3 players to hit double digits as well.
Again, I would like to think that it's probably going to be Sterling because of how vital he is in that role. He is someone that can feed because he dribbles so well and gets into great positions. But it's a tough one, definitely between him and Mount, because I do have a feeling that Sterling could be the one getting the goals and Mount could be supplying. So there's that. There's Reece James. If there's people in the box, it's tough. I'm going to go with Sterling.
Ooh,
and Mount very, very close in behind.
Interesting. Some people are saying Reece James in the comments as well. Could be interesting if we have somebody to get on the end of him, of his crosses.
Yeah.
I think I'm leaning towards Mason Mount. I don't know. That's just my gut feeling. I think Sterling will be top goal scorer and the Mason Mount top assister potentially, but TBD. Let's see it, guys. Make sure
it's a tough one. We'll see who comes in as well. There could still be more signings. So, like, if De Jong came in, I'd probably say De Jong. Like, we'll see.
Yeah, still early days. We'll have to watch this back at the end of the season and see what we said and see if we were super off about it.
Yeah, we will be. Well, we always are. Everyone is, so we will be.
Always. Who do you think is going to be the surprise player of the season? So maybe somebody that we've just signed, or somebody that wasn't so vital last season that could become vital this season.
It's a good question. It's hard to break down the players that we already have playing for us because we already know what they're like. There's no surprise factor to any of them. Like, for example, Mason, you know what you're getting. Reece James, you know what you're getting. Chilwell, Chilwell, you know what you're getting. Even I'd like to think Kai Havertz should be having a really good season, but that's expected.
Oh my God, yeah, Kai, haven't even been including him. Yeah.
No, but this is the thing. Like, he needs to impose himself now. He really has to put himself on the map, and if he doesn't, there's going to be questions. I think anyway. So, so the lads that we already have, we already know. I think I've seen people, not Chelsea fans, other fans underrate Koulibaly. I think he's going to smash it. I think he's going to break legs. I think it's going to be wonderful. So there's that. Sterling is not underrated. I don't feel at all. So it's hard. Who's going to be? Maybe Chukwuemeka.
Yeah.
18 years old, people will be looking at him, and if he blows the scene, everyone's going to be mind blown. So I reckon, there we are. Chukwuemeka has to be if he's involved in the squad and he's talented enough and he's rated highly by Tuchel and by the squad. Then he might come on and blow people's minds. So I'm going to go as a surprise player, Chukwuemeka.
Yeah, it's going to be super interesting for sure to see how he's incorporated into the squad. And a lot of people are saying Gallagher as well.
But that's not really a surprise either. He smashed it for Palace. He done really well. If he really done well at Chelsea, I think people would be like, oh yeah, no, Conor Gallagher. But there's no surprise. It's not like, oh my God. Yeah. So, yeah. I rate Gallagher highly. I'll see we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm super excited that he's going to be playing for Chelsea this season. I feel like it's been a while coming. Who do you think is going to be the most consistent player of the season?
Consistent. I'm gonna go with, I think, Koulibaly. I don't see
Ooh.
Koulibaly putting a foot wrong. Like each game, I think he's just gonna have not a 10 out of 10, but those 8 and 9s are gonna be there every single game. I think, yeah. There's him. The whole back line, to be honest, there's him. There's Thiago Silva. We know what Thiago Silva's like. If Cucurella comes in, then you could even say him because we know how good he was for Brighton. Super consistent for Brighton. I think it'd be the same here. Reece James is quite consistent, I would say, or should be. This preseason he's been a bit off. Mount is quite consistent as well. I think Sterling would be quite consistent, but
hopefully the entire team is quite consistent.
Yeah, well, we look good. I think that I'm gonna go with Koulibaly though. I think he's gonna have a really good season.
That's a super interesting one because my mind automatically jumps to like Thiago Silva. He's like not put a foot wrong. So I think it speaks really highly of Koulibaly that you think that he's going to just like hit the ground running. And he made a couple of good tackles in preseason. We'll see how that translates to the Premier League, but it just seems that he has the right mindset. He's fitting in with the team. I really love that video where he called John Terry. I thought that was really nice, and that he's like a nice person as well. So I have very, very high hopes for him at Chelsea this season.
There's Kante as well. I just saw in the comments. It's a very good point. Kante, we might see the resurgence of Kante because he was injured last season. If he is physically good this season, I think he's going to be super consistent. I think we get the best Kante again. So let's hope.
I hope so. Prime N'Golo Kante, there's no player like Prime N'Golo Kante. And he was like a cheat code when we won the Champions League. He was just so good. And he's another one that can probably benefit from having more rest or having 5 subs because you don't need to play N'Golo Kante for every single game. You don't need to.
Agreed.
But I would love for us to be able to pick our moments when we play N'Golo Kante so that when he does play, we know it's going to be like a 10 out of 10 performance. That would be my goal. So, who do you think is going to be Chelsea's player of the season?
That's tough. I know people are going to say Mount because it'll be 3 times in a row. Is it 3 times in a row? It would be, innit?
It would be 3 times in a row.
It would, yeah. I think that's doable. It's tough though. With all these signings coming in, it's difficult. Because I feel like Mount had quite a lot of inconsistency around him.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this season he might actually have good consistency around him this time. So that doesn't help him when talking about player of the year. It helps the team and it helps him in his game, but player of the year, he's going to have competition. So I don't know why I have a good feeling about Raheem Sterling. I think the impact he's going to have is going to be wonderful.
But
he
looked very sharp.
Yeah, very, very. I'm going to go with Sterling. If he's going to end up with the most goals, I think he's probably going to end up and quite a handful of assists. I think he's probably going to get it. But I wouldn't be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if Kante has a banging season and he's in the running. And I wouldn't be surprised if any of the defenders are in there too. If we have a good season in defense and they show consistency, I wouldn't be surprised. But it's very rare for a defender to win it. So my 3 picks would be those 3: Sterling, Mount, and maybe Kante. Maybe even Kovacic. We'll see what he does. But there's a lot of midfield competition.
It's crazy because we've gotten like a bunch of different answers in the chat. We've got Mount, Sterling, Koulibaly, Reece James, Werner, Mendy, Kante, Harvey Vale, Kovacic, Mendy again, Timo Werner, Mount. So basically a load of players that
Timo Werner? Nah, come on, you're having a laugh.
I don't think he'll be at Chelsea this season.
Player of the season at Leipzig, yes.
Oh my god. So kind of going off player of the season, young player of the season, a player I think 23 or under. Who do you see it going to?
Oh, at this rate, it's going to go to Chukwuemeka, isn't it? We'll see. I don't know.
Your previous answers, that's what I figured.
No, 23 and under. Yes, we have quite a lot of lads in that age bracket now. But yeah, if we're talking about surprise, it's going to be, I think, between if Chukwuemeka does impress and maybe Gallagher.
Mm-hmm.
I would say those two will probably be more than likely.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling as well. I'm trying to think, like, Reece James is still young, I think. Like, he's been at Chelsea for a couple of years.
Yeah.
He's 22 going on 23. So
But he's seen as a senior now, technically, isn't he? Because he's
I know,
one
yeah.
of the main guys.
Because of how long he's how many seasons he's been playing at Chelsea, and he's just been so consistent and so good. I forget how young these players actually are, but yeah, I would agree with you.
It's like Hudson Doy. He's 21. When I look at Hudson Doy, I feel like he's 26.
For real. That's
he's
crazy.
21, so
what?
yeah.
What? That is mad. Who do you think will be Chelsea's comeback player of the season? So somebody that didn't have a good season last season or the season before, maybe somebody who's been out on loan, and we kind of like wrote off. Like, I think kind of like how Moses came and was like super fundamental under Antonio Kante, like something like that I don't know. Maybe you don't think that they're going to have a good season, but then they do go on to have a good season.
Batshuayi.
Really?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
I'm kidding. No. Imagine. Imagine he scores the goal to win us the league again. That would be a player that comes back. Well, I mean, eyes on Chilwell.
Yep,
for sure. Eyes on Chilwell. I think, yeah, if we're having to answer that question, technically it would be Chilwell. But if we're talking about someone who's not been involved at all, then, well, it's difficult because all the players that we're bringing back from loan are more than likely going back on loan again, except for Gallagher. Yeah. So everyone there is the same. But anyone that performed badly, did anyone perform badly last season? Well, if they did, they're leaving. So
I don't,
it's difficult.
And it's hard because we don't know who's leaving, right? Like Ziyech might stay. Pulisic could be a shout, maybe, like if he can get some consistency. I don't know if it's going to happen at this rate. Kai Havertz, maybe he didn't have a great season last season.
He had the right season. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't
fantastic. No.
Yeah, very, very average. I feel like he's capable of more for sure.
100%.
So I don't know. Let's see. The big question, Younes, where are Chelsea finishing in the Premier League table?
I hate this question because every time I'm realistic and then it gets close to the season and I'm like, nah, screw realism. We're gonna... and now, especially with all these transfers, if you'd asked me, I'd say prior to Cucurella, prior to being linked with all these guys, I would have easily said third again. Now though, I can't help but dream. No, we have to be real. Right now, third is where I think we all expect. If all these players that we're linked with actually happens, say if we ended up with Cucurella, with the ones that we got in, we ended up with De Jong, we got Aubameyang, we get Fofana. Why not go for the title? Why not? Why not? Why not? So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But right now, how it looks now, prior to any more signings coming in, I think it'll be third.
Interesting. I'm not feeling like so confident. And I tend to like err on the side of like.
You think we're at the top four?
I'm nervous. I think like fourth. That's how I'm feeling. I don't know. Guys, don't hate me for being realistic. That's my gut feeling. I think Liverpool.
Who's getting third?
Spurs. That's what I think.
No, you have to leave your stream. You have to leave your own stream for saying that.
I hate it. But they've signed so many good players. They looked on fire. Arsenal looks on fire as well in
They look
preseason.
good. Yeah.
They look very, very good. And like, I don't know, you remember with a full preseason with Antonio Kante, he took the team from 10th to 1st. So I'm thinking, oh, he's finally got signings. He has Harry Kane and Son, who are two of the best attacking options in the league. They've made a load of signings for Charleston, Basoma, Perisic. Like, they're just looking really good.
They do. And they look
I
super
don't
fit.
like saying this. Like, I hope I'm wrong.
It's
But
true.
Chelsea in preseason have been making me a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we didn't. No, what would be honest? This preseason for me was horrible.
Yeah,
it didn't look good at all. I hope, and I don't think we'll be ready technically for Everton. It's only because of these signings that everyone's buzzing and everyone's like, "Oh my god, okay." But realistically, in terms of the team and what we have right now, we don't look good. We don't look sharp. Tottenham look sharp. Arsenal look sharp. But Tottenham with Antonio Conte during that preseason, he killed them, which was expected because we know what that's like. His previous teams know what that's like, especially in Italy with Inter. He killed them. Like, you saw the preseason clips where they were dropping on the floor and they couldn't breathe, and then they got told to get up and keep running. Like, they were finished. That only makes your conditioning on point. And I think, yes, for the start of the season, I think they're going to be running like machines. And we play them after Everton. So that's going to tell us a lot. That game will tell us a lot, because even by the Tottenham game, I don't think we're going to be 100%. And I think Spurs should be. So that's going to tell us a lot about where we truly are and where they are in terms of ability. So we'll see. Yeah. Arsenal look much better, but it's a very Arsenal thing to have a great preseason and then to start flopping immediately as the season starts.
True.
Although they do look good.
That's my prediction is City, Liverpool kind of going head to head again, and then Chelsea, like Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal kind of fighting for those top spots again. But
Man United forgotten about, yeah.
Man United, yeah, there's definitely like 6. If they come in above 5th, I will be surprised, to be quite honest, with all the other competition that there is. But I know a lot of people are saying like, oh, Arsenal have Europa League to worry about this year. Spurs have Champions League to worry about this year. You know, there's going to be more games to handle. But I don't know. I just kind of am not feeling super confident, to be completely honest, especially given like how much still needs to be done. Like, I feel like there are a lot of players that want to leave that look like they don't want to play. So we shouldn't like start them. And a lot of players that still need to come in. So I feel like, especially with the World Cup and not knowing like how that's going to affect the season as well, you're going to have a lot of players going. They might come back. I don't know. They might come back injured. They might come back fatigued. You never know. I feel like it's going to be so important this season to have a strong start to the Premier League season. And I feel like we look a little laggy right now. So that's why I'm nervous, guys. Let me know what you think, Younes. Maybe I'm being too pessimistic, but that's kind of how I'm feeling right now.
I mean, as I said, now, like, that's how it looks now with more signings coming in. And if we are able to get some of the players that want to leave to go, then that could change our fortunes. That could change the overall vibe at the club and within the squad. So yeah, hopefully it's going to look better from here on out.
Yeah. I do agree with you that if we can get rid of some of the players that want to leave, if we can bring in some more players, maybe gain some consistency. The attack still looks like it needs sorting out. The defense looks like it needs sorting out as well. You know, maybe things look more positive. I just feel like, you know, especially Liverpool and Chelsea, Liverpool and City have been going at it for so many years, competing, top. We've been like 15 to 20 points behind them every single season. And so we need to focus on closing that gap, I think, first. And hopefully we can start doing that this season. And yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. Everton away is never an easy game, but I hope to God we win this one, because they haven't looked good in preseason either. So
they looked horrendous. But, you know, Charity FC comes back on day one. Why not? Lampard needs the points. We got to give Lampard the points. He needs the points.
They'll be like in 17th by 2 points, and the game that they played against us was the difference maker. But things will start to get better for Chelsea after the birthday stream. Good thing it's not too far away. Maybe. I hope that we're good luck charms for Chelsea, though. Hopefully.
I hope so.
But I want to play kind of like a little game now. So I've gone and looked up most of the players' goals and assists in the Premier League last season, and I want you to say whether you think it's going to be higher or lower, and then kind of give like a prediction. So, for example, Mason Mount had 11 goals and 10 assists in the league. So if he's going to keep that up, or it's going to be lower, and then what his like goals and assists will be.
Are we doing goals and assists together?
Yeah.
So the two combined, yeah?
Yeah.
Goals and assists. I would like to say higher.
Higher? Wow.
I'd like to say higher. I expect higher. Come on, Mace. Smash it.
Come on, Mason. No pressure. Just 21 goal contributions again.
I'm gonna go higher. Just maybe like by a couple.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, I'll be optimistic for once in my life. I'll go higher. I'm gonna say like slightly, like 12 goals and 12 assists, for example.
Yeah.
Let's see. Also, guys, these are in the Premier League, so maybe in the Champions League he would get more. Kai Havertz, he had 8 goals and 3 assists last season.
If he doesn't get higher, there's a problem.
I knew you were going to say.
At that point, we have an issue. Like 70 million, mate, what's going on? I'm going to say higher. I expect higher too from him.
I will say higher as well. I'm predicting very high goals. So hopefully this means that Chelsea will score a lot of goals. But I'm going to say like 12 goals and 5 assists, for example.
That would be ideal, yeah. That would be better.
That should be what he's like at least aiming to do, I feel.
Yeah.
So next up, Raheem Sterling, 13 goals and 5 assists with City.
He'll get higher. I'm quite confident in that. Because he didn't even play every game for Man City. So considering that, and again, that's Kai Havertz, what's going on? Sterling's not playing half the games and doing that. So I'm gonna go higher.
Break 20. Does he break 20? 20 goals? Yeah, higher or lower?
I reckon. I hope so. I reckon 18 or 19.
I was saying 18 in my head. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we get to like kind of like the interesting ones because it's players that have kind of been in and out of the team. Christian Pulisic, he had 6 goals and 2 assists last season.
Oh, that's not handy, is it? Although, like, is he even going to play much? Like, I don't know what's going on with Pulisic. I really don't know. Again, realistically, it should be higher, but the game time is going to be an issue. I think he might end up on roughly the same.
Yep. I'm trying to think. So Raheem Sterling's probably going to be playing on the left. He could also potentially play on the right, but then you have Mason Mount and Kai Havertz.
Yeah. It's tough.
I'm going to say, guys, what do you think about this one in the comments? I'm going to see. Let me know what you think. Maybe the competition will motivate him to kind of like when he's on the pitch, score. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, 6 goals seems about right. I'm going to go like slightly higher, like 7. I'm going to say like 7 goals, maybe throughout the entire season.
I'd say the same. And if he doesn't get the same, if he doesn't get that at least, then again, even with him, there's a problem.
Yeah.
So
So next one, this one was super surprising for me. Callum Hudson Doy, he got 1 goal and 2 assists last season. Obviously, he was out for a couple of months he was out for a big chunk of the season, but still 1 goal and 2 assists.
It has to be higher. He can get that in one game.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you put in one man of the match performance, you've broken it. So I'm going to say higher. I'm going to say higher, surely higher.
Do you see Callum playing like a role in the team this season?
I mean, there's talk Leicester want him. So we could let him go. But I'd like to think that out of the wingers that we have, he's probably going to be the first to go to. Especially if Ziyech goes. Like, I reckon Hudson-Odoi could be the first one that we turn to. But even with him, it might be difficult to get game time. So we'll see. But he'll definitely get higher than that. Surely.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. I'm going for like, I don't know, 5 or 6
5 goals.
Yeah, something like that. Timo Werner, he got 4 goals and 1 assist. Let's assume that he's playing at Chelsea this season, but it looks like he's not going to be at Chelsea this season. But if he is.
How many goals and assists? 4 and 6?
4 goals and 1 assist.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
4 and 1. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking when you look into the stats of it.
And we wrecked Lukaku. Like, so, no. I mean, yeah, it's going to be difficult for him to even play. I don't think he's going to play. I don't think he's going to be here. If he stayed at Chelsea, I'll expect even less, if I'm honest, at this point, because he just won't play. I just don't think he's going to play. But at Leipzig, 25 goals.
Yeah, that's how it's going to go. I just know it, of course. Moving along, Hakeem Ziyech, another one linked to AC Milan. Saw that a couple of weeks ago. Haven't really seen any update on that, but I think he's another one that's maybe gonna go on loan, maybe be sold. We don't really know where he stands. 4 goals and 3 assists last season.
No wonder we struggled to score goals, man. These stats are shocking.
Yeah, it's crazy.
4 and 3. Again, I'd expect roughly the same. Again, but his whole demeanor, he clearly wants to go. Like, he's clearly got a way out. AC Milan, I think, is going to be where he ends up going to. We'll see. Let's talk about Man United because of Ten Hag. Don't know if we'll do business with them. I hope not. But if he were to stay, again, will he play much? He should be capable of more, realistically. But just for the sake of, we should expect more from him. I'm going to say maybe slightly higher, but
like 5, 6.
Like 5 and 5 and 4, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, he's somebody else who I think is probably going to leave Chelsea before the end of the transfer window, TBD. Next one, super interesting. Kovacic, 2 goals and 5 assists. He started the season like really high, and he was getting like an assist every game, and it was insane. And then he got injured. He wasn't as consistent, but he's shown that he can be more forward thinking than maybe I thought that he could be in previous seasons. So do you think that he kind of continues that, or maybe we see less from him?
Yeah, I reckon there's definitely an avenue for him to go a bit more forward. And I hope he does. And the one thing about him is that he just needs to, if he were able to shoot properly, I think he'd be stellar midfielder. So how many goals and assists?
2 goals and 5 assists.
I'm going to say higher. For this season, I'm going to go higher for him. I'm going to go, I'd like to say 5 goals.
5,
maybe about 8 or 9 assists.
Wow, that's a big jump. That's a big jump. I'm gonna go for like 3 goals, maybe like 2 or 3 realistically, and like 6 assists. Let's see.
Fair.
This one, I think I know what you're gonna say, Jorginho. 6 goals and 2 assists.
He only got 6.
6, yep.
Oh man, did we miss a lot of penalties?
I know. I don't have that readily available, but I feel like he did miss. I feel like he did miss some, but I don't remember if they were like cup competitions or if they were Premier League games. But he did miss a couple, I feel.
He did, yeah, he did. Well, with Sterling in the team, it's cool. He'll have unlimited supply. So I'm gonna go with. No, you know what? I'm actually gonna be serious here. Yeah, he had 6 goals. I'm gonna go with, depends if he sticks as penalty taker. If he does, I think he can get about 8.
Yeah.
I'll go about 8
It
goals.
also depends if he's going to be on the pitch when those penalties are drawn.
This is true. This is true. And for assists, I'm gonna go with 5.
Okay. I'm going to say he has less goals, like 4 or 5 goals maybe. Maybe he's not on the pitch when the penalties are drawn. Maybe he's not the penalty taker. I don't know. I'm going to say like more assists though, like 5 assists, because I do think that he can create, and I want to see him creating more, because we've seen like sometimes he has these like beautiful passes that come out of nowhere, and I want to see them more often.
I think he does that quite a lot as well, but we don't end up finishing.
Yeah.
And when we don't finish, he doesn't get the assist,
Yeah.
even though he's done his job. So with players like Sterling and whatnot, and hopefully more to add, that should help him increase his number.
Yeah, very true. We'll just speed through the rest of them, because now we're getting into the players that, well, I'll kind of switch up and go to the defensive players that do score goals, and then we'll go back. So Reece James. Oh, did I not get Reece James? I don't think I found him. Let me look him up quickly, his stats. So last season, Reece James had 5 goals and 9 assists. Higher or lower? Didn't realize the assist was so high. That's pretty cool.
I'm going to go... We relied on him quite a lot last season for the times that he did play. I'm going to go lower.
Lower?
Lower, because I think it's going to be a lot more spread out. We focused a lot on our wing backs. We didn't have anyone else. And I feel like maybe this season we should be a little bit better, which may take away from Reece James, but I still do think he's going to get goals and assists, mainly assists. So the goals, I think, will decrease. The assists, I think, will stay the same.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm going to say he has more goals slightly, like 6 or 7 maybe, just because he was out for like 3 or 4 months. And so if he was playing consistently, I think that he'll add to that. And then the assist, I think, is going to stay about the same, but maybe he can get into double digits. Maybe he can get like 10. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Let's see. I'm always like very hopeful at the beginning of the season that Chelsea will score a lot of goals.
Hopefully, we need it.
So moving on to the other side, Ben Chilwell, he had 3 goals and 1 assist last season, but obviously he only played until November. And he didn't start this season either, because he was also kind of like coming back from injury. So he missed a couple of weeks at the start of the season, came back for a couple of weeks, got injured versus Juventus, and then was out. But in those couple of weeks, he was scoring a lot and getting a lot of assists, like in the Champions League as well. So 3 goals and 1 assist, higher or lower?
I'll go higher. Has to be higher. If he's here for the season, he'll get higher, 100%.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for like 5 goals and 3 assists, maybe like lower than Reece James, but still pretty reasonable. But I'm hoping, this is me kind of taking into account as well that he is coming back from injury, because if he doesn't, if he kind of like starts, gets off the, what's it saying? Like starts off running or whatever, like that, I think that he would get more.
If he
gets like back to his old level quickly.
Oh, yeah, completely. 100%. And yeah, I agree with those numbers. I think the assists, will climb a lot. And I think the goals maybe just a little bit more.
Yeah, I hope so. It's going to be so good to see him back to his best, hopefully soon, because it was a tough season for him. So now we're kind of getting, it's quite interesting. Like most of the defense had 3 goals last season. Thiago Silva had 3 goals. Chalobah had 3 goals and 1 assist. Koulibaly had 3 goals and 3 assists. And Alonso had 4 goals and 4 assists. So you see, I kind of grouped them together because they're not goal scorers.
Play him as a striker.
I joke about it, but I low-key want to see it like in one game. Why not? He has like a good shot on him.
He probably would. He'd probably bang in a hat trick. But we're probably never going to find out. He'll go to Barcelona. He'll probably play up front for Barcelona. He'll score like 30 goals. We'll see.
I just find it like so curious. Like it's just so funny to me. It's like somebody missed a chance to play him as striker because he has a really good shot in him. But do you see any of the defenders really realistically scoring more than like 3 goals this season?
Nah, no chance. Maybe you could say if Koulibaly's in the box and he gets like multiple headers, I see that happening maybe because he's quite a big guy. So yeah, maybe he'll be able to leap everyone, but apart from that, no.
So 2 players left. I purposely left out a couple of people that were just like on the fringes. I think I've got to most of the team. Kante and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. So Kante had 2 goals and 4 assists last season. You think that's going to be higher or lower?
I think he might get more goals this season, you know.
You
it
think
seems
so?
like he's figured out how to shoot.
Like his classic, like one like golazo of the season, and then that's it.
And well, he scored in pre-season. Maybe he's used up all of his goal scoring power already. I reckon maybe 4 or 5. It's possible. And then in terms of assists, I probably expect a bit more because I don't think he's going to be as injured as he was last season. So I think we'll see Kante involved a lot.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
And that's a thing. Like he actually does get quite involved. Like going forward, I kind of have this like vision of him being so good defensively and sniffing out danger and breaking up attacks. But going forward, he actually can be good, but sometimes he just doesn't pick like the right pass. So if he can maybe work that a little bit more, we might see more assists from him. And the last one kind of on my list, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. How involved is he going to be? He didn't score last season for Chelsea. Obviously, he kind of like wasn't so involved. He got 2 assists. Is he somebody that you think is going to be here next season? Are we going to see him potentially leave? I don't think he wants to leave, so I'd kind of be surprised about it. What role do you see him playing, and is it higher or lower?
It's tough because I don't think he's going to play much, but I think he's there just as squad depth. Like, if we have to play a cup game, cool. We have to rest multiple players. He comes in. If we have an emergency, say something catastrophic happens, we have no one that can play right wing back. Cool. Loftus-Cheek will do it. I honestly think he's going to be not even rotation. Like he'll be quite sporadic in the amount of times that he's used. So it's hard to say how many games he's even going to play. I would, if the opportunity came, send him on a loan, but I don't think he will. If we get a chance to sell him, I don't know if anyone's going to try and come in for him. That would probably be best for him, if I'm not going to lie. But in terms of higher or lower, it's difficult to even say higher because I just don't see him playing. So it's tough. For the sake of that, it's just 2 assists. I'll say higher just so he can get 1 goal. One goal and 2 assists. And that's
1 goal. Exactly. Guys, it's crazy. There's 200 people watching right now. So if you're liking this stream, make sure to subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Younes, like the video so that other people can find it as well. It really does help when you guys interact with the content. So yeah, just a quick side note, please do that. Let's see the likes going up. And Younes has been a fantastic guest. Younes, something I forgot about. Sorry. Conor Gallagher got 8 goals and 3 assists for Crystal Palace last season. What's he doing this season? Higher or lower?
I want to say higher. It's quite difficult to see how we're going to use him at the start of the season. Yeah. I think maybe into the season, if we are to adapt new formation, if we are to adapt maybe a new way, if he is to rotate with Mason Mount, we don't quite know how he's going to be used. So I'm struggling to see how he's going to have the same impact that he did at Palace. But for the games that he does play, I think he's going to look good.
I feel like he did look good in preseason as well. Like, I think it was the Charlotte game what was the one before Charlotte?
Club America.
Club America. in the first half, I thought that he was actually like one of the brighter spots
Yeah,
in the Chelsea attack. So I thought, I don't know exactly where he's going to play.
this is the
Where,
problem.
yeah, like where do you see him playing? Because I feel like he's typically like better a little bit higher up on the pitch, but we saw him, I think, play more as like a pivot in the six.
Which isn't
I
his
don't know.
role.
Maybe you'll see. I don't know if we'll really see Tuchel switch to a back four. I know that formation is fluid, and we were kind of seeing that in preseason. Like you have a back 3/5, but it turns into a 4. But we just had so many like random players on that we're just trying to get minutes. I don't quite know how I see us.
Yeah,
So how
it's
do you
difficult.
see us play?
Personally, the way that we set up now with the back three and two in a pivot without eights, because he's an 8. And
Yeah.
if we don't have 8s, then the only way I can see him use is rotation with Mount.
Yeah.
So if Mount's not playing, Gallagher's playing. If Gallagher's not playing, Mount's playing. I don't see him being used in the pivot. We've got options for that already, and it's not Gallagher's best position. I don't see him being used all the way up top. That's just not Gallagher either. So the only role I can see him is being, the backup or rotation with Mount, or to try and take his place. And then down the line, down the season, if we figure out a way, if we were to get signings, if we figure out a way to play in the back four, and then we have a DM with 2 8s, at that point, Gallagher comes in and he's in his natural habitat, basically, even if it's alongside Mount or alongside someone else. But that would be easier to predict where he'd play. So for now, it's quite difficult to see where he's going to fit in. This is why I'm not upping the numbers, because I don't know. So
it's a high number. 8 is a very good season, especially
big time.
Age. It's very, very good. I've kind of been saying for I think like the entire last season, like I would love to see us play in a back four at some point. If you have the center back, like Koulibaly is used to playing in a back four. I think Thiago Silva probably could handle it, and then you have Reece James and Ben Chilwell. And I don't know if you bring in somebody else. Maybe we could see a back four, because my kind of like complaint has always been, why do you have to play a back 5 against a team that's going to sit back? Like, why do you need to have 3 defenders on the pitch? I just find it too much, because of course your wing backs are going to provide width, but other than that, I don't know. I feel like we could have another attacking player instead of that third defender. So that's something that I would personally really like to see this season, but I don't know realistically how much we're actually going to see it.
Yeah, I agree. And this is where the signings that we bring in are going to come into play. If we get Fofana, for example, centre backs, we're quite well covered. If Cucurella comes in, cool. Now we actually have a left back and not Alonso, and even Chilwell, but we get some cover for right back. Boom. Okay, Reece James has someone to cover him. We have a defensive midfielder. We can play the system. Without a DM, we ain't playing a back four. We can't. We just can't, unless we go to a 4-4-2, and that just limits us in attack completely, I reckon. So, for now, to play a back four, we need a defensive midfielder. If we don't get a DM, we ain't playing it. We're too exposed.
Yep, absolutely. And guys, just to give you like the latest update, Fabrizio Romano has tweeted while we've been online. First is about Marcos Alonso. Barcelona do want him. Talks are ongoing with the clubs. Apparently, he's been a priority for them, and he also hopes to leave Chelsea this season. And Cucurella is in London as expected, and he's currently undergoing his medical, so no issues with that as well. So that's pretty crazy. Lots going on, yeah. And Marcos Alonso, I always like. He's one of those players that I always felt like was going to leave. Like every season, I was like, he's always rumored to leave, and then he stays. And it seems like this might actually be the season where he leaves. And with the World Cup, perhaps he wants to be in Spain for that as well. Younes, kind of final question. I know we've been online for an hour and it's late already. Where do you see? 2 questions. Where do you see Chelsea going in the Champions League this season? And what would be a successful season for Chelsea in your books?
The Champions League, I am going to aim for, I want to say semi-final. right? Because considering the season we had last season and we still got to the quarters and nearly made it to the semis with Real Madrid, that, now we should be on an upgrade. I'm going to say the semis. For a successful season, I would say top 2. If we were to make, we have to break the City Liverpool thing going on. If we break that, then cool.
It's so tiring, right? I just want like something new in there.
If we get to the semi-final of the Champions League, I would take that. And I would say, like, look, we've lost 3 FA Cup finals in a row. It's taking the mick. We need to win that. Like,
oh my god, I couldn't believe that we lost 3 in a row. I couldn't believe
3 in a row. It's uncalled for.
No, that's it. We've reached the final, I think, like 5 out of 6 years or some like crazy stat like that, but we lost it 3 years in a row. So yeah, for me, I think FA Cup, like 1,000%, we need to be focused on that. Like you said, Champions League semifinal. And for me, I think I would not care. I think I would want a top 4 position, but more than like the actual ranking, I want to close the gap between City and Liverpool. So instead of being in 3rd with a 20-point gap, we could be in 3rd with like a 5-point gap. And I think that would be like massive progress, given that we haven't been close. We've been like 20 points behind them for the past like 5 years.
I think because of the way that they're going to be operating, if I'm honest, I see Liverpool doing really well. I see City maybe dipping a bit.
I know it could. I know. I was thinking about that when I did my predictions, because I don't know. Like City have sold quite a few players this season as well.
Yeah, the whole dynamic is shifting, and I think the way that they play now with Erling Haaland, they might end up in the same situation we did with Lukaku. But if he bangs in goals because the chances are there, then cool, happy days, which he will score goals. But will that hold the team back? I think to try and win the league, which is going to be their aim, it might hold them back just enough for them to not win the title. So I reckon, there might be an opportunity for Chelsea to close it big time, especially with all these new signings.
I hope that you're right, Younes. You knew about our Champions League win in 2021. You predicted it on this channel back in the day. You're like, if we beat Atletico, we're winning the Champions League. And I
can begin to dream.
And then we can begin to dream. We did it. And then we freaking went and did it. So I don't know. I hope that we have a good season. Obviously, season starts tomorrow. Chelsea play on Saturday. Very, very exciting times. And Younes, this has been a fantastic early birthday stream. I really appreciate you coming on the channel again. Definitely one of my most I don't want to say visit guests, like one of the people that's been on the channel the most. Let everybody know where they can find you.
So, no, thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure. Great birthday stream. Let's hope it brings Chelsea some luck. But yeah, Younes Talks Football. I'm putting my predictions out tomorrow and then the preview for the Everton-Chelsea game. First preview of the season. So, yeah, looking forward to it. See what happens.
I am as well. I could not even predict a lineup right now. I tell you, I have absolutely no idea which way it's going to go.
Agreed.
It should be an interesting one. Guys, if you like this video, make sure to follow Younes. Make sure to sub to my channel as well. Really helps me out a lot. Like this video, comment like in the comment section of it so that other people can find the channel. Have like a lot of things planned for this season and like some other opportunities. I don't know, like let's see what happens, but I'm super excited for the start of the Premier League season. I hope you are as well. Let me know your predictions for Chelsea in the comments. I want to know where you see us finishing, who's going to be our top goal scorer and assister, everything that we talked about in this stream. Let me know and I read through every single comment and reply to them as well. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day, evening, whatever time you're watching this, and until next time, I'm out. Bye.